This is going to be so insane that we are sitting here going, oh, it's all priced in because the price hasn't broken 74,000 in a meaningful way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point, right? You got American miners that are going to be supported by the fucking government. They're going to be given grants. They're going to be given sponsorship. They're going to be given support to build mining infrastructure for Bitcoin inside the USA. You think that's not going to happen? You don't think Trump is going to be on the podium every single press conference talking about how great Bitcoin is, how much Bitcoin just went up? You don't think that's going to drive any attention? What are we talking about? Things are priced in. About the only thing that is actually priced in here is the fucking line that's apparently called a law and has some power. That's it. The only thing that's priced in is $236,000 per Bitcoin. That's the only thing that's priced in here. Right? And also, these people talk about, oh, this is priced in, we can model this, we can do this, that, and the other, and they don't want to trade their own model. So shut the fuck up. Right? So anyway, the point I want to make here is everyone thinks everything's priced in. Same thing happened last cycle. Last cycle was my first cycle. Same thing happened last cycle. I thought things were sort of priced in as well. And if you're living by a model, you don't understand exponential growth. Firstly, that particular model doesn't even respect the fact that there's going to be exponential growth anymore, right? So that's out of here. But secondly, you cannot model things. You cannot say things are priced in when you've got the president, the single most powerful economic force of a country in capital markets in the world, talking about the fact that he's now pro-Bitcoin. Not only is he pro-Bitcoin, he wants all Bitcoin industry here. Not only that, he gets shot. They take his ear off, right? Don't even take his ear off. They take the top of his ear off. He stands up and he says, fight. What the fuck do you think he's going to do when he gets elected? You think he's just going to forget that he said Bitcoin should be an industry here? Here's what I'm predicting. I'm predicting absolute support for Bitcoin in America. I'm predicting absolute support for Bitcoin miners in America, so much to the fact that I've divested all of the Bitcoin miners that are doing anything outside of America. And I've focused in on the miners that are doing things inside of America. And that's what I think is going to happen here. It's unfortunate because my life plan was going one direction in the sense that I thought that next year I would be making the move towards the East, right? Because if you think about 4 years ago, we all thought, oh, the future of Bitcoin is the Middle East, it's Dubai, it's Asia, et cetera, et cetera. And what we've come to realize is that the future of Bitcoin is America. So it's disrupted my plans a little bit, right? Coming over to the Middle East and all this other stuff means I've got to do a little bit more travel than I had planned to do. But it's happening. You cannot price any of these things in. You cannot price in a Trump landslide victory. You cannot price in a Bitcoin House, a Bitcoin Senate, a Bitcoin president, a Bitcoin vice president, a Bitcoin Treasury Department. You can't price these things in. So everyone's sitting here going, oh, it's all priced in because the price hasn't moved. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Get some help, like that Michael Jordan meme. But the reality is this. Bitcoin is on a path and a trajectory here that no one was expecting a year ago. The only person that was on the one little toe on the right step was me when I said, this is BlackRock. They're going to make things happen here that nobody's expecting. And in the space of 1 year, you have a Bitcoin president who was anti-Bitcoin before, but he's now fully on board. You have a Bitcoin vice president. You got a Bitcoin House coming up. You got a Bitcoin Senate. You got Bitcoin everyone. You got Bitcoin. They took Jamie Dimon and said, hey, you're going to be Treasury Secretary. By the way, you're now positive on Bitcoin, okay? And kept moving. That's how orange pilling is going to work now. It's going to be the Bitcoin presidency of Trump and Fink. That's what's happening here. That's how powerful this is. That's how bullish this is. No one understands how powerful this is here. And just because we're early and we have to sit through a few months of the price going sideways after it's broken a new all-time high for the first time ever in its history, everyone's sitting here going, oh, it's all priced in. I just look at the line. Lines and tell me exactly what's going to happen. Morons. Absolute, utter, nerdy morons. This is not how it's going to work. Bitcoin is going to do things that it's going to blow you away. Why? Because there's actual finality of supply. And all those line worshippers are going to realize that the finality of supply is going to catch up on you real quick. Because when the president is telling everyone to buy, when the companies are buying, the government's buying. Now there's already talk in US politics of adding Bitcoin to the treasury. What happens when the Bitcoin presidency of Trump and Fink decides to put Bitcoin on the US reserve? You think that's priced in? None of this is priced in. So if you're sitting there trying to understand what's going to happen in this cycle, I want to implore you not to, because we don't know what's coming. All we know is that it is bullish. All we know is that the idea of 21 million final supply is going to catch up to us very quickly. We only need one of these dominoes to fall, and it's going to turn into a panic buying spree like you've never seen before. And remember, just like what happened when Trump's ear got blown off, everyone said, I've just decided I'm now fully in support of President Trump. Why? Because it became okay to support the president. They always supported him. They were just saying they didn't. They would go into the ballot box and quietly write President Trump and leave. They always supported him. But they just felt a societal clapback. And guess what? The shooting did. The shooting made it okay to support President Trump, because most people don't have the balls, or they've got other things, other risks that they have to put up with in their societal risks and those other shit, if they say that they're supporting one person or another. Now, you can disagree with me about who you want as the President of the United States. I, as a non-voting member of the population of Earth that, can't vote in the American, I should be able to vote. If one illegal, illegal immigrants' votes count for 5 Americans, I should be able to get 1 vote. Right? Because at the end of the day, my money is dependent on America and American capital markets. Therefore, I should be able to vote, as far as I'm concerned. So, the same thing has happened with Bitcoin. Trump's ear getting blown off and giving him a pass. Everyone, whether you're left or right, you can now say, I support the president. That moment for Bitcoin was Larry Fink. Larry Fink coming into Bitcoin and basically being on TV saying I was wrong about Bitcoin, Bitcoin's the future, was the moment where Bitcoin got its ear blown off and now everyone has the right to support it. That is what happened to Bitcoin. So same things happened to Trump. We've now got an incoming Bitcoin House, Senate, President. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal, and there's no way to price this thing in. There's no way to study this. There's no way to model this. This is the first time we've ever... Take all of those things, right? And let's say you could go, okay, so let's map out how real estate, like stock to flow tries to do, right? And I like stock to flow. I like the idea of stock to flow, right? The model can do what it's going to do, but I like the idea of stock to flow. You can say, okay, so real estate did this, and then we had this inflection moment. You can add all of those things in, and then you've got to remember, Bitcoin is a finite asset. Nothing we have ever monetized before, nothing that we have ever added a financial premium to before had a finality of supply. Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. Bitcoin's the first one. The first one where there's actual finality of supply, and everyone wants it, and guess what? Everyone can get it all around the world at the exact same time. What do you think is going to happen? And that's why I want you to subscribe to this channel, because there's too much bullshit going on. Everyone's talking about this. And I'm worried that people are going to start trading these things and they not realize that we're going to hit a hockey stick and you're going to start seeing exponential growth, and they're going to be sitting there with your dick in your hands because you decided to follow the line, right? And the nerds around the line. You need to stop that. We don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know what's going to happen here. You don't know what's going to happen here. The line worshippers don't know what's going to happen here. All we know is that you have unlimited demand, because now the people in charge of printing the money are pro-Bitcoin, and you've got finality of supply. That's all we know. So you need to subscribe to the channel, because things are about to get fucking crazy. We're entering the second innings of this bull run, and we need to keep each other held accountable to understanding what the hell's going on here, so we can figure out how to keep our families safe, how to keep the people that we love safe. So subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Remember, ultimately, despite all the entertaining conversations, there are always only 3 rules to Bitcoin. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.